The most used and fought over part of the Constitution is the First Amendment. Throughout history, many groups protested who lacked this right and worked to obtain it. This group works under the pretense that they are making the voices of the oppressed louder and fighting against fascism. But in today's society, these groups are legally equal to every other, and fascism does not exist. So far, the only objective that they have met was making themselves known. Because of this, there are many opinions built around them. I interviewed a variety of people to find what these opinions are, starting with the youth, an educator, and an officer.
Kind of garbage. They're kind of a problem. They're pretty violent. They cause a lot of chaos for a cause that really isn't in America, and they're dumb. They're violent. They're dumb. They have no justification. I think how they're portrayed in the news, depending on where you get it, they're either demonized or romanticized. It's very contrasting. Like some places I've seen, like CNN, for example, romanticizes them a little bit, which I find is kind of scary, but other sources don't at all. So I think there needs to be more consistency in how they're covered, and I think it needs to be kind of unilaterally understood that Antifa is kind of a joke and shouldn't be taken, and should be kind of outlawed, should be outlawed.
So what is your opinion of Antifa?
Antifa is a organization that's been around for a long time in the sense of, in other countries I hear, there have been, anti-fascist organizations. It's a relatively new phenomenon in America in the context of racial violence in this country. I do like the general idea that they're trying to bring to light, bring to attention the fact that there are these, hate groups out there that they are trying to limit their effectiveness of. My one issue I guess I have with them from time to time is that they also advocate at times violence to achieve their goals. So, achieving those goals through violence sometimes creates more violence. So I'm not sure if that's the most effective way going about it.
And what is your opinion on how they're covered in the news?
I think it depends which news you watch. So the bottom line is, if you watch, generally speaking, a more conservative talk show, political commentary show, they tend to emphasize more of the violence by Antifa and talk about how their methods maybe are more politically motivated. They seem to be sometimes sympathetic to groups like you saw with in Charlottesville with Trump, where he tended to equate the people who were from Antifa and the other group as being almost equal in some ways in terms of their viewpoints. If you watch more liberal networks, they tend to be more sympathetic to Antifa, and obviously look at some of these white wing and white supremacist groups as obviously being in the wrong, but they almost seem to some extent justify the violence from time to time. So in terms of coverage, I think it's unfortunately, like you see a lot in America today, it depends on what source you're looking at.
So, as an officer of the law, what is your opinion on Antifa?
My opinion is basically very unfavorably of them. I believe that they might stand for a good meaning behind it as far as anti-fascism, but I don't believe that they're doing it the right way.
And what is your opinion on how they're covered in the news?
I guess it depends on what news site you're looking at or you're watching. Some are unfavorably, and some tend to spin it in their favor. I think my opinion only, I think it's more truth is held with certain news stations.
Now that I've exposed you to the public opinion of this rising group, I implore you to go do your own research and continue the discussion.